So let's see how these players do as we dive into the draft here for game number 2. Xin Zhao, once again taken away.
Are we
Maybe the
still
Pantheon going to also be removed after the vibe?
Free junglers from Lucid. Is that what? Yep, I guess that's where we're at.
Seems to be the vibe.
Can't
Maybe it's an
believe-
angle for a Talia pickup.
I think DK are going to ban that.
You'd hope so.
Although, you know, I do actually believe that when these junglers are out of the game, don't you think that Talia loses a lot of value? Like, teams are probably still going to ban it, but I do think without Vi, without Xin Zhao, without Sejuani, without Pantheon, like, the pick isn't that crazy. It's still good.
It
you
does, yeah.
You can outrange it, right? You can pick something like the Victor into it, bully it early, keep it locked in lane. Ryze is another example that we've seen, and I think it's specifically the combo with good point-and-click CC that makes her truly broken. So Talia is still up. Rumble is still up. Rumble's going to get taken away, so the Talia is open. And Bulldog's, yeah, going to slam that. That's a no-brainer. And then, you know, oh god, is it going to be like, it's red side DK. Is it like Ari Lee?
Oh god.
Ari Viego? I got this feeling, Atlas.
I'm hoping, like, I mean, Showmaker's Ari has been pretty good this year.
Yeah?
I don't want to take anything away from that, but I want to see something else picked into the Talia. I feel like Ari is not the answer. The Wukong, definitely a good one. And as far as carries that are still left up, this has been performing extraordinarily well, especially on this patch.
It's hard to play into Talia, but it's also a really good combo. So especially post 6, that's really hard to play into, so I understand what I want to prioritize taking that away.
Maybe it's Kassadin time. I mean,
No.
he wouldn't pick it here, regardless. So let's see what is going to be prioritized.
Chase, maybe?
Ooh, that could be a choice.
Doesn't really lock you into anything.
I just didn't want to. I just feel like it's less interesting.
Oh, Yorick.
Okay.
Yorick for Shiu. Looking as casual as ever.
Pioshik is hovering Graves.
Fun. Won't lock that. No dice.
Yeah, I think he's just having a bit
It's
of
like
a good time.
Skarner, maybe? Trundle. Makes sense, yeah. Trundle into an AD matchup, always going to feel good.
And there's the Scion.
For Dudu. I like Scion. I really don't love the Scion into Yorick. That's one of the few matchups where I'm like, you are actually going to get in trouble when it comes to the mid game.
Oh god, that would be true.
So this, I think, makes the most sense. I would personally would love the TF, but I don't think that's what we're going to get. TF into Scion Trundle does not sound like a good time now that I think about it.
Well, I mean, you just play for pure 1-3-1 and never actually team fight into a Scion composition, and I think that's probably kind of okay. But the problem is that the Scions have actually been doing fine in lane.
Yeah. They have, and they've had big impacts out of lane as well. So aiming, what is he going to be looking for? Ezreal, I think, is likely. Wukong and Yorick are pretty good at tank busting, so I don't think you're too crazily worried. And Barrel, maybe a Nautilus, I think, would be good.
If his Alistair's banned, I think that is definitely worth a look.
One of the big benefits of Alistair as well is that his tankiness isn't tied to stats, so it's harder for Trundle to...
Yeah.
Like Leona is a good example, right? Like Sejuani obviously the textbook, but Leona during Eclipse and Aftershock would be a massive target, which is why I went to the Nautilus instead. Feel like that one also isn't quite as tied to his resistances, more so the shield and just the fact that he engages and has so much CC.
Yep, I think it's a good idea.
So MF, Nautilus, if DK just follows the prio list, still going to go with Leona.
I don't know about that.
It's interesting, right? Like, if Pioshik is ulting the Leona, is that really the end of the world? As long as she can hit her CC. It does mean that the 3v3 duo, or like trio of Leona, Wukong, and Ari post 6.
Pretty scary.
Absolutely disgusting. Really, really strong.
Well, Life is thinking about a Rakan. Doesn't have the Xayah to pair with it.
That. Blind
Kai'Sa is
So I know you can
choice.
pillar ult. That's fun. Like, it's a really cool thing that you can do. But I am not sold, Atlas. I think there's a lot of matchups where, as Kai'Sa, you can really struggle.
And they have a composition that does require a lot of consistent damage out of their AD carry, and Kai'Sa can certainly do that, but she doesn't do it from safety.
No.
And there's a
not.
Wukong.
Yeah, that makes sense. So is it like... So you can go two ways, right? You can either try and match it. You can go for like Varus is a good one. Lucian obviously already taken away, but that would be another one. Ashe, if you want to beef up your engage a little bit, if you want to try to play for lane. Or you go something like the Jinx, something with a big range advantage that really makes the life of the Kai'Sa very hard. There's also Zeri, which this is a dive comp, and as I say it, I do think it makes sense. Aiming is like, oh, I get to have fun. No fun. And this also, aiming is, I'd say, our best MF, which is crazy. Like if you told me that 2 years ago, but it's true. And this is a composition with a ton of CC. That Wukong and MF combination is very, very strong. So really it's the bot lane where kind of my issues come from. If Pioche gets an early lead, if they can get Berserker to the point where he has his items, I do think you look really good. But the mid-game fights, as a core, Taliyah, Kai'Sa, and Trundle versus Wukong, Wukong Ahri, and MF, I know who I'd rather have.
Yeah, I am looking at Bulldog and feeling like he certainly has a lot of responsibility in this game. The rocks need to be in the right spots to deny Barrel's engage, to deny Lucid from getting in there. Of course, a Flash Cyclone is always going to work, but being able to stop that Warrior Trickster from coming on through, that is going to be the big deal.
Lucid fan, very good.
Yep, based,
Love
absolutely.
to see it.
And a Cadril fan there as well, which is always good to see. As a new DNF fan on the way?
That is adorable.
That is absolutely fantastic, and huge congratulations there as well, making her way out to Lol Park here. Making sure that the esports is getting in, and that she's 29 weeks as well. My goodness. Certainly getting on. So that one's a new DNF fan going to be coming very, very soon. That is brilliant to see. But now it is time to see something else brilliant, and that is going to be a game number 2 between DNF and DK. Let's go!
소환사의 협곡에 오신 것을 환영합니다.
All right, here we are, ladies and gentlemen. Onto the Rift for Game 2. DNF versus DK. Let's see whether this one's going to be cleaner. Having a look at the drafts now that they have all panned out. We're looking at a 2-threat comp coming out from DNF. Pioche wanting to throw subjugates onto the Leona, make him as tanky as possible, but will also have a decent matchup in the 1v1 early on this Trundle. And Dudu is playing a tank. And he's against Yorick from Shiu. Yorick has been finding more and more success here in the LCK after a rough start.
Yeah, we've been hating on it less and less, which is how you know that people have gotten a lot better at it.
Yep. Catching up to the Lord Morgan.
Even, I think it was Shiu and Dorton both did this, like the Surreal does third, and actually team fighting well. The first 5 levels, I actually think Pioche can make a big impact in basically every single lane. Right? Post 6, he still will be able to, but once the Ahri gets ultimate, once Wukong gets his ultimate, plays become a lot riskier. But the first 5 levels, you obviously stomp the Wukong in the 1v1, particularly with lethal tempo, and there are no dashes on the enemy. Well, Wukong has, but on the lanes, there's no dashes for anyone. So Pillar can actually have a ton of pressure, which I do like. Just want to give a little shout out to Beryl. Does go for the Glacial Augment.
And he also goes for Berserker here as well, as the double up value is pretty huge.
Yeah, so this we see, I think Beryl is very consistent with this. It's something you see in the Sejuani as well, right?
How dare you say that Beryl's consistent?
With
Do you even know this guy?
All right, with his choices in runes, because he thinks about the game a lot. So you don't want to give value to the Trundle. Again, you can end up with very low resistances if you have both Aftershock and your Eclipse running. So instead you go for Utility Rune, which in this case is the Glacial Augment.
That's a cute one.
That's nice. I like seeing players actually, you know, change their runes depending on matchup and opponent. And you feel like that should happen always, but really doesn't.
Beryl has certainly been a lot of for the crazy plays that he makes, he does have a lot of intelligent ideas.
Brendan Veldes, his boy Daystar, with a 2-win.
Goodness. I remember one of those. He got a player of the match. Do you remember that? It was so deserved as well.
Yeah, I remember that. I wasn't very happy with it. Don't even remember who I voted for, but I know it wasn't him. I think it was Diablo. Oh no, I was Kellen.
Oh yeah, that was the Kellen rob. Very similar to our series prior to this one, where Lehens got robbed by everyone.
It was 12 out of 13 out.
I know! How did everyone get mind controlled into not voting for the correct player? It's crazy.
The more I hear you talk about Lehens, the more I realize he's just a second barrel to you. It's like, I know, today I'm not...
I like players that orchestrate level 1s.
That's Lucid, very cute there. Fakes out with the clone, but obviously not able to get the smite. We'll see if he's able to still get the scuttle, because he doesn't have prio in mid. But he does have prio in top, so should be completely fine.
Yep, Shu is throwing some ghoulies at Dudu. If you guys missed it during the break, the LCK lols, very funny.
We were in it.
We were, and there were lots of ghouls. And aiming died to a gromp, and there was all sorts of stuff. It was a hilarious week last week.
This 1v1 has not been very back and forth in this series, I would say.
I mean, this has been a lot of hitting one another.
Yeah, but I mean more so even in the last game, I feel like in the 1v1 Shu at the edge. But Dudu obviously quite smart as well. The damage.
Beryl does press his I don't die button, and there is no subjugate here in this lane, so he will be okay.
This is a cannon wave. This is nicely done though. I kind of wonder what happened, why they're behind in experience. We'll be able to hit level 4 now.
Dudu almost dead, but does flash and doesn't actually die, as the Q is already in the air. Still, Shu putting on a whole lot of pressure. Dudu with a full wave to catch, though, is okay, we're trying to go in. Zenith Blade doesn't quite hit the mark, but still, Life with not a lot of mana left. Beryl with not a lot of health left, so does need to address that situation.
Does he? He's Beryl. Health is a resource.
And he's
Very
used
literal
most
sense.
of it.
Yeah.
He's running out of said resource.
And he doesn't have a lot of mana, so really mostly going to be reliant on his autos. And I think Shu's biggest issue, as often is the case with young players, we saw this in the previous game as well, is there is great hands, there is a lot of aggression, there isn't a lot of patience and control, right? And I think him not flashing there was definitely the right call. You might kill Dudu, but your flash is so valuable, because if you don't have flash and Dudu hits 6, at any point he ults you, Yoshik is there, he presses E, and you just die. Like, there's not really anything you can do about it, or it can be Pioshik first, and Dudu doesn't really matter. But I think that is actually a very important summoner in this matchup, especially
Also,
against Trundle.
The thing that I really like about Scion Trundle is that if your Scion player is really intent on going way too deep, you can just say no by putting a pillar in front of him.
And now you might think that that's anti-synergy, but given some of the moments that we've
you could save Dudu from an unfortunate situation. Also, if somebody else is riding the Herald, you can be like, no.
So, because your mean interpretation might be your solo queue teammate, where what happens is your teammate ults and you're like, no, you took my cannon earlier, you blocked, or you took my camp and you blocked him. But what would happen here is Dudu is just charging headfirst. He's like, Pioshik, I don't want this, help! And then in the last second, Pioshik flash pillar saves his life.
Beautiful.
DNF
saves him from himself.
DNF is 6k gold down. They lose the game, but Dudu doesn't die. I can
he doesn't die in that moment.
Well, he's Scion. You got to use your passive.
True. Otherwise, you're not getting any value. Aiming
like
barrel back out onto the lane. This time on the top side of the map, we do have the Grubbies spawning in 55 seconds.
Really isn't going poorly. Like, I was expecting Berserker to struggle a lot more, but once you hit 6, you actually have a good amount of threat onto aiming.
Oh dear. The Coolie wall goes up, although this one's a kitty cat wall. As the Maiden, I love the Cat Maiden. It's actually fantastic. God, this skin is so good. There's a lot of very good Yorick skins.
He has really been blessed,
Really
skin-wise.
Since the update.
I do also, I'm pretty sure, based on how they looked, at aiming and barrel color coordinated there.
I know, and Beryl is normally, what is it? Is it Iron Solari that he plays every game? He does have his own skin on Leona, by the way, guys. We have to remember that.
That is a thing. That did happen, yeah.
Yep, he has a Leona and an Ashe, and yeah, he doesn't use either of them, mainly because Ashe is no longer a support champion.
I still can't believe that he didn't pick Heimer, because that is actually what it should have been.
Oh yeah, true.
For that tournament.
Yeah, and he was asked about it, and he said, I would sell less skins. So I picked Ashe.
And you know what? Sure, he was right.
I think he was right. As Bulldog going to be able to find a really nice trade here. As Dudu will not find a really nice trade here, but does kill the Maiden. So Shiu going to be Maidenless yet again.
That is nice for now, as one Grubby went over to DNF. But this has kind of just been Lucid picking up all the other objectives.
Yeah, he is kind of taking all of the stuff that he wants.
Mid lane's going well for Bulldog though. And Bulldog's laning has gotten a lot better since Challengers, but I do think, as we saw in the last game, that his team fighting still leaves a good amount to be desired. So, bit of a double up.
All right, we're just going to make it rain and then do some bullet timing.
Yeah, tempo ult.
Yep.
Probably looking for the plate into base and then rotate towards the bot side of the map because the dragon is spawning in about 2 minutes, but we'll see.
Aiming does, like, the way he plays MF makes him look like he's someone that's played way too much MF. Like, every play looks like a set play, right? Like, the make it rain bullet time, I just want to get a plate and then go home. Like, it just feels like he's done it like 400 bajillion times. And he probably has.
I can see it.
I just feel like I don't get that vibe quite as much from our other MF players.
Clocks in.
Yeah,
presses R,
yeah,
walks out.
That's what it feels like. It's like his day job is MF player.
He's been doing a lot of it. I don't know if he reaches the, you know, the amount of hours that we have put into our respective games. Because he also has to play other champions because he's a professional.
Yeah, he does.
But maybe after that... Oh!
Whoa, left flash shaman. There is the solar flare as well. And Aiming turns up and says, thanks very much for setting up that play for me, gentlemen. I will take this. And he does. Once again, the set play. He put his time card in a few seconds ago, and then he's off to work.
Clock in, pick up the wave, rotate bot. Clock in, pick up the wave.
Pick up the kill. It's a good day.
Oh, yeah,
You also pick up the kill.
Yeah, he got the kill. Donated him as well.
Didn't even have to flash. They held him in position for long enough for him to just waltz on over or strut on over.
Well done there by Showmaker. Able to get the flash charm off. Doesn't mean that he will be a bit susceptible to a gank until he gets his cooldown as...
Okay.
Oh, he was faking. Heading towards that brush. Maybe to try and make him think. I don't know if it was a control ward. Yeah, so...
Yeah, thinking about like going over to kill the ward.
Oh no, because I think it was his... Yeah, because it was Bulldog's ward. Okay. And then instead able to turn it around. A little bit of a mind game there from Showmaker. Ends up paying off nicely as... Now, with this base, I think Dudu's feeling a lot better because he had got plated steel caps and a cinder. And then now he's going to be feeling a little bit better.
Yeah.
And then Shiu's going to finish his first item. And then I think it's kind of okay. And then once the second item is done, it's...
feeling not as okay.
It's not. Yeah, well, just clear the wave and leave, you know. Kind of the classic.
Yep. And here, we're going to set up the Ghoulie wall. Maiden goes down as well, but you can see Shiu in a little bit of trouble. It's a lot of CC.
Don't think he cares.
Okay, never mind. Yeah, he doesn't care. The Maiden is coming on in, though, and you can see his second dragon being attempted by DNF. Solar Flare not going to find quite too much as Pyoshik does grab the Drake. There is the flash out from Lucid. He gets over the wall. There's the Cyclone to buy a lot of time. Bullet time as well. Working out the Killer Instinct from Berserker. It's going to be able to take down the Monkey. And Showmaker, in the meantime, is going to be able to shove out this wave. Flash in from Beryl, though. They're looking for life, who flashes away. He's still burning, and there is the double up. It was in the air, as now Pyoshik, they want to come on forward. Subjugate goes down. The barrier is nowhere near enough, as Beryl likely to die as well. The smite comes in. Pyoshik also dead, but gets another kill for his teammate, or for himself. That was weird. It's 2 for 2.
Unsure about the whole sequence of events that just transpired, but we'll try our best to break it down before I break down, because that didn't make a lot of sense.
Yes.
So, Lucid makes a big mistake. With Wukong, you do have a lot of innate safety, so probably felt like he was fine. Gets focused down, and Showmaker leaves the area, which I think is fair, right? So this starts off, they're looking for an angle, and then Showmaker, I think as soon as this engage on Lucid comes through, he just dies. So Showmaker's like, okay, I can just go to my wave. That's fine. Lucid dying, it's unfortunate. Losing Drake and not getting the dragon. But you know Pyoshik is there.
Yeah.
So Beryl, well, why? Well, why, Beryl? Why? We know Trundle's still there with ult and Flash.
Did Beryl get the kill?
Yes, he did get 2 kills.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
But that's really bad though, because Berserk got a lot of gold off of that play.
True. There is that thing that we sometimes talk about as Berserker moves to, what, 7-0-0 on the series right now?
8.
Oh, 8, okay.
I think he was 5.
Yeah, I think he made it to at least 5 by the end of game 1. Yeah, he is certainly the win condition. So he might be onto something there. Still, DK with slight gold lead. Not very meaningful at this point in time. We're racing towards one more objective, DK, to grab themselves feats of strength, or it's a first turret, as DNF did manage to make it to 3 kills first. So whoever gets this next turret could just be winning the game, winning the race towards that one, assuming DK does get themselves another objective in the meantime.
Do like that shield with Dressy, but went for the call. So going to cash out pretty hard. Anything that can accelerate you to that second item spike, I think is quite a big deal. We'll see what he goes. It's mostly been Shojin. I do think this is one of the games where you get a large amount of value out of a cleaver, but he might be instead just waiting for Lucid to pick up that one. Wukong also always going to be going towards that.
Yep.
As a second item. And DK, that mid-game explosiveness we kind of wanted to see. Not really anywhere to be found outside of that one play in mid, but it hasn't led to too many objectives as Ocean is up as...
Okay, well, Beryl is going to get pillared. Now Shield of Daybreak going to connect onto Pyoshik. Beryl's very dead.
Have you seen the hit movie Wanted with Angelina Jolie?
Yeah.
She, like curves?
Yeah.
I don't know how that Nautilus hook hit. Because Beryl had flash, and I think that he also didn't expect that to hit. But I think Life has been clearly studying a lot,
yeah,
and he actually has found a way to curve it around.
Yeah, he's kind of figured out the Morgan Freeman way, who was the original, the bullet bender before James McAvoy and Angelina Jolie figured it out in the hit movie Wanted.
Topical reference, as always, in the LCK.
As Showmaker clearing out a ward here towards the top side of the map. I'm still like, I mean, weird anchors aside, like why? You know?
Well, so Lucid was waiting over the, so I think he was just hoping if you go in and he gets the cleanse, then Lucid can go in, get the knock up, and the Barrel can follow up. Although, I mean, even if you get the cleanse, there might not really be a win though. But Lucid was waiting over the Raptor pit. So that was, okay. I think, what...
So that was what the setup was.
That was what the idea was. It just didn't end up panning out. And then he could have flashed. But again, my read is that he definitely didn't expect that hook to clip him. And then he got... which happens to really anyone when it comes to Nautilus hook. I feel like that's the objective that and Chin W are the two ones that make you go, I don't know about that.
Yeah.
But DNF, you know, things are looking up. Their early game has just been good for, like, what, the entirety of round 2?
Yep. And they've been able to get themselves into some really good positions.
Yep.
And then, unfortunately, their Nexus explodes.
And then stuff happens, and then... You know what it reminds me? I think it was, if I remember correctly, in the LCK, I think it's Rogue Time.
Oh, no.
Which is like, they have a great early game, and then stuff happens, and then nothing happens, and then they lose.
Well, we've got a depth charge coming in. That is a very dead life, though, as now the Cyclone is just causing such an incident. Teleport to come forward, though. This is a Scion coming in. Oh, my goodness. He's so incredibly swift. And Shiu is just going to take a turret.
So Lucid is going to look for the steal.
Oh, God. And it's Ocean Rift.
No, we're gonna check this, right?
Oh, yeah.
Guys?
Oh, yeah.
We're going to check this, right?
Oh, yeah.
They're not checking it.
Well, Solar Flare comes in, and now the bullet time is interrupted, but that is going to be a Drake secured by DK. Beryl dies, but being dead seems to be exactly what he wants in this series. Seismic Shove will connect, though, and down goes aiming. Now Bulldog could be in trouble as the team fighting Yorick is in here. And he does just find the Q, unceremoniously bops Talia on the noggin and takes her down. That was a solo kill. No one got an assist. He is still solo laning.
Okay, I just want to go over everything that happened there because it's very funny. So we go in on live, he gets the cancel, but he still ends up going down because the rest of the team is in quite a position. Then Beryl ends up getting taken very low. The Scion TP, I think, is way too late. If you want to go for that play, you got to do it earlier. Then somehow we don't know about Lucid. Aiming tries to ult while Cyan is point blank in his face. Don't know why. Then Berserker flashes into enemy territory. So does Showmaker, by the way, who also just kind of dies, but he does set up for the kill on Lucid. Nicely done there by Lucid. Good flash on the decimating smash. Then Shiyu somehow solo bolos, just TPing in on the Yorick. After he gets his turret, by the way. And now, I don't think he's back yet, but he has cashed out his call. He has turret money, and he just got a kill.
Yep. You best remember Yorick Mori. That's all we're going to say about this one, is he has got his pretty cool steel plates now completed. Steel caps, sorry. They've taken first turret as well, because that's what he did just prior, so they're upgraded. And so now, double Trinity Forces, we are hitting some item spikes on DK.
Dplus.
As Beryl is taking some damage. The rest of DK coming on over, and Beryl surviving for so long. There's a two-man knockup with the Cyclone. Still, Lucid's just dead. Showmaker taking so much damage as well. As Berserker gets himself out of the way, the turret is going to go down. The train has left the station, and perhaps he didn't really want to go here. Still, aiming's going to get hooked up and destroyed. Everything you can do, I can do better, says DK, as they look to throw the game back towards DNF.
Yeah, I got nothing. Beryl going in, that part I understood, because he was dead.
Yeah.
Everything after that doesn't make a lick of sense. I'm pretty sure Aiming also walked back. I think he was actually out, and then he walked back into the seismic shock. So let's take a look. Beryl dying here is fine. You lose mid lane turret, it's not the end of the world. Instead, they try to play onto Berserker, but Lucid doesn't actually get on top, and also you lost your Leona. They're all there, and Aiming can't really walk up, so that's not great. Then here Showmaker gets out. Watch Aiming here, I think. Ah, okay, no, I didn't really have an opportunity because he had to dodge away from the Cyan. So,
and there was a wall.
Yeah, very nicely done there by Bulldog to knock him back. So apologies, Aiming. That one wasn't on you. That was all Beryl, which does feel fitting for DK.
Well, what I love about this game at the moment is that we saw for a second that the goal difference between Showmaker and Bulldog was 0. And I feel like that's about the split.
Pyoshik, you are just tanking Yorick.
Yeah.
I get they got the turret. As long as they don't start Otacon, they're fine.
Oh,
Showmaker
the bait and switch.
Pushing an inner, and he is Ahri, so I think he will be very safe.
All right, well. The unstoppable onslaught. He actually has train tracks with this.
Okay, but
well, it's very cute.
Yeah, Showmaker is just okay.
He has ultimate, so I don't know whether this is ever going to eventuate. So still, it was kind of frightening. Control ward is going to take a fair bit of damage. I wonder whether they're going to start this up. I don't think they are, because there's not a lot of damage in the area, and in fact, it is only Beryl and the Yorick that are in the area.
I would have liked DK to build Black Cleaver. I'm not a fan. It looks like Lucid is going towards Sundered Sky instead. And this is a game where you are playing into Trundle, and your only AP source is Ahri, who notoriously doesn't have that much continuous damage, right? It's all burst. This is getting very... I think this is maybe just gone.
I don't know whether there's anything that they can do about this. Well, the rest of DK
Lucid's
are
gonna
coming
try.
down.
He does have a lot of... I think they're too slow.
Yep,
Lucid
goes in. Lucid is going to be able to get over the wall, but then can he get back is the question. And yes, with a flash he can, but he's still going to die. As down he goes. An opportunistic maneuver there by DK, and they could have perhaps just not.
Yeah, or be in position earlier. Now, Otacon, I just keep noticing with anything I say, I'm like, well, does it really matter that much for DNF? It should! This should be a big deal! I don't have faith in DNF, Dplus. I don't know how, but it feels like one of those Greek tragedies. You already know. It's called a tragedy for a reason. You know, even if everything is looking great, the ending is not going to be what you want. As this is what I was saying. So Showmaker has also gone for a build where he is going to be doing great damage to Berserker and to Bulldog. Even Bulldog is a little iffy. But we need Black Cleaver. We need Void Staff. They're building resistances. And you are otherwise not going to get through either Dudu or Pyoshik. Even Pyoshik is sitting on a 4-0 right now.
Yeah, and he's even got some cheeky Merc treads there as well.
Yeah, so Cyril, this is next for GU, so that, or Shiu Reddit, that will help a little bit. But I really feel like the Cleaver from Lucid should have come through second, and his Wukong has been less than inspiring in gameplay as well.
Well, it is going to be this wave shoved out by Berserker. The rest of DNF wanting to get their item spikes sorted out. I think Berserker going back for a reset might have item number 3, and there it is. Hurricane is now done. So that is big. 3 items for, especially like this AD version of the Kai'Sa. I feel like she spikes a whole lot harder on 3 and 4 items. And especially against a more squishy composition here for DK. You're going to be very happy with what he has right now. Lord Dom's completed for aiming is a big deal, but like you were talking about, I think they're going to need more help getting through the tanky boys on the side of DNF.
Berserker did die.
He did.
And I assume the stat is still true.
Well, I mean, he also didn't die in the last game and they lost, so maybe it's opposite day for DNF. And now that he has died once, it is time to win.
It really does feel like DK, against any opponent, has the ability to make it look like we are watching 2 teams of very equal scale. Let's not forget, this team beat Home Alive.
Yeah.
That happened. That was last week.
Yeah.
That's a thing that we all witnessed.
DK and KT both.
So it's DK,
it's
KT.
They play to the level of their opposition, no matter who it is.
kind of does as well.
They do a bit too, but they also do a lot of just like, we don't care until it's playoffs. I feel like it's very obviously that for Humble.
I wasn't quite on board. We talked about this in Box 8 in depth. You should check it out.
Yep.
But I am on board after I watched them play against T1. Maybe a little bit less on board after T1 got 2-0 by Longship today.
I don't know whether, you know, does a team's performance against a different team provide information about another team that performed against Pride? I don't think so.
I do think it does when...
There's too many things to remove.
No, I'm feeling good about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's up to you.
Sorry,
all come to the
we can't all be
that we want to.
statistics masters, Atlas.
Well, I'm not. I'm a statistics ignorer. Immune to statistics.
It's like it's all Pokemon. Go far down far enough. This game is weird, Atlas. I think DNF is in a really good spot. They have an amazing front-to-back comp. They have a fat AD carry, and yet there's just this feeling that somehow something is going to go horribly wrong. And for DK, they need this to be a 2-0. They need DNK to come through, and it might not look pretty, but for DK, all that matters is winning.
Yes.
In 2-0 fashion. That's the only thing
so just win this game is what they need to do, as that was an opportunistic charm there. Really wanting to hit Berserker and get that cleanse so the DK have an opportunity to find something. It's interesting because you talk about the fact that DNF's composition plays easier and easier later into this game. DK can play around side lanes really effectively with what they have.
They have a good team fight as well. It's just that they need to start off well. Like the DNF can kind of peel back. As long as none of their carries get hit, I think DNF always have a good angle, even if Life or Dudu gets blown up early. For DK, if they don't kill someone immediately or like get on top of Berserker at the start of a fight, I think their comp just kind of sucks.
Aren't they so cute?
They are. No.
Little cat just disappearing into the ground. It's all right. He'll be back up again soon. Don't you guys worry.
I think it'll be a different one.
No.
It'll be the same one. Because the ghouls will disintegrate because they're raised.
I mean, I think that's right. However, the asset will look identical to the one prior.
Yeah, but it's in spirit. It's not the same ghoul.
I know, but I'm less about in spirit and more about actually. And actually
it is exactly the same. Yeah, it is.
Yeah, and so that way, none of them ever die. It's just like minions. Minions just respawn.
They just recycle. That's worse. Yeah. That's so dark.
What do you mean?
They're just stuck in an endless cycle of walking down the same lane.
I don't know how how is it better or worse
imminent death
than just millions of them dying in a day of League of Legends?
Trapped, Atlas. They have the awareness of what is coming and what has been before.
You don't know that. Do they have object permanence?
I don't know. If they don't, then
is there memory reset? We don't know. We don't know how it works. Okay, well, someone, if you do know whether it works, just let us know. As the Maiden gets aggressive, and there's a charm there as well. Life just goes down, bonked by a shovel.
There it is. That's the moment I was waiting for. You have flash life. You can't die like that. That's possible soul point coming up.
Oh, Barrel gap closes, utilizing Bulldog's seismic shove.
Yeah, they're definitely going to have a hard time fighting for this dragon now. They can try and flip it. We do have...
Goshik's just going for Baron.
They have to know. that is coming through. I think they might have spotted Kai'Sa. Yeah, they do know pings are coming through.
Yep. Just going to wander on over there.
They're going to have Shiu. This is what you should do, by the way.
Yep.
Shiu solos, the rest of the team contests.
Well, there's the flash out from Bulldog as Showmaker getting on top of him. DNF, they pull off the Baron. As now you've got a very angry Sion running amok in this team fight. The Dragon does go down to the Yorick, is aiming with the barrier, is not able to do anything. And now Shiu is teleported in, but to what? Oh, well, actually, he just finds the Morning Mist and snipes the AD carry. That was absolutely obscene. And now you've got the Maiden going ballistic.
They can end.
Not able to quite get enough damage onto Bulldog. And with 4 members alive, maybe they can get something done.
They don't have Berserker, though.
This is going to take a long time to take these down still.
Ooh, this is going to be close. So the first one's going to be up. No, they definitely can't. I think they have to go for Inhib and then for Nash. They're going to look towards it. I don't think the timing window's quite there. Pioshik is trying. This is going to be very close, Atlas. But I think... No,
I think they understand.
They know. So DK got Dragon.
They did.
That was the only good part. So the crucial thing for me here is that, so life goes down. I think DK plays as well, but they don't actually have that much vision in the pit. So what happens is they know that they need to play. They go on top of Bulldog, who stalls for a long time, but they don't know that they've peeled off. So you see kind of the hesitation for DK, because they don't want to take a fight where they're even without their Yorick, who's their most fat member, and instead the weakness is found there. If Shiu doesn't hit that, like Shiu saves the game there, by the way.
Yeah.
Kai'Sa's alive, they just lose. Like that's just the end. We're going to game 3. They even gets close to taking down Bulldog as well. Doesn't quite do it. But if that doesn't happen with a Kai'Sa, the Nexus is gone. DK now do have a substantial deficit. And
whoa! Okay,
that was the clone.
Life is going to find the clone.
DNF. That was still an amazing play for them. As long as they don't flip Nash, don't let loose Signier and let him steal it, I think they should be in a commanding position to keep control of this game.
Well, there's a decent amount of vision still in the area. Control what is going to be stopping that one in the pit is the Maiden! Oh, gets pillared! Oh, and she is going to get taken down as Beryl also is able to get over that wall. Does have to flash the Seismic Shove on the other end though. And aiming picks up an Infinity Edge. Could be important, but still, no flash now on Beryl is a big deal.
DK, Dragon up, about 6k gold down. They need to win this game if they want to keep their chances as high as possible. Even if they end up losing the series, they're not out guaranteed, but they're going to have to rely on KT to really KT it up.
Oh yeah.
Which, as we know, at any given point, it's about a 50-50. Is Beryl, no flash.
Another Seismic Shove going to connect, another flash in, but this time, Life, unfortunately, not going to quite make that one work. Still, the Pillar's in a great position, and Beryl unable to walk for a very long time. It's Beryl's turn to get caught. Let's see whether DK can capitalize on it this time, as the Baron has gotten started. Berserker and Pioshik doing a lot of damage to it already.
Let it go, it looks like.
Yeah, Charm is going to connect over the wall here. But yeah, Dudu is absolutely a brick wall. So this Baron is going to be secured. This game is all but in the bag for DNF.
And that's a dangerous statement to make, as we all know.
Yes. This time, though, I'm feeling pretty confident.
This really should be the one where they get it done, right? I know we've said this a lot, but really, this one you can't lose. Like your season is over. I know this split is over, but the season lasts a whole year, Atlas. If you lose,
and your scoreline lasts the whole year as well.
Well,
that's the biggest issue here for DNF.
That's really what we're worried about, because what's going to happen is DK is going to super turtle. They have decent wave clear. They're going to turtle, not do anything. They don't need to fight for the Drake. They don't need to do anything but try to hold on. They're probably going to lose another inhibitor.
There's a guy in Twitch chat, by the way, that just said, stop caster cursing Wolf. So I don't know what Wolf is doing over in the space, but you should stop caster cursing.
It's definitely powerful if Twitch chat is really able to...
Unless he's doing it in Twitch chat.
To catch up on it.
All right, well, Wolf, hopefully you're not caster cursing. This could be the teamfight win for DNF. As the Weaver's Wall just to try and lock down this inhibitor turret as Beryl gets engaged on the knockoff. Oh, it's fantastic. Yeah, aiming in so much trouble as Dudu crashes forward, just obliterates the bottom lane. The Cyclone gets a decent amount of value, but Lucid not able to do enough. And neither is she. Showmaker just getting shown the door here. as Berserker is flashing in on top of the Yorick, and DNF will be able to make this one a series as they look to take down the Nexus turrets and bring us to a game number 3. DK gonna have to do better than this if they want to make it to the Legend group, as Showmaker having to flash away, but he is still gonna lose this game. DNF looking real good towards the end of that one, even though I don't think either of us were ready to admit that they were in a winning position.